Hi there, welcome to a very special edition of my 10-minute moan. But this one isn't going to be 10 minutes and it isn't going to be a moan either. In fact, today I want to talk to you all about something that means an awful lot to me, something that's very important to me. And that thing is my country, your country, our country. You see, I travel up and down the length of this country. And I go to villages and I go to towns and I go to cities. And what I see in our country truly is a state of despair. I see young people with their heads down. I see old people who are left behind. And I see parents who are ashamed of what's become of the places they're from. I see a breakdown in community structure, and in some cases, no community spirit at all. I see people who are just trying to make ends meet, and I see a rot that is set in within our society, and that troubles me. It troubles me deeply because I am a patriot. I love this country. I love it with everything that I have. And I know that it's fallen in hard times. And I don't think anyone would deny it hurts me deeply. And so I started this YouTube channel about a year ago. And as a way for me to vent my frustrations at what I see happening to our country, to expose and give you good people a look into some of the reasons why our country is the way it is right now. Now, I don't know if this is just me who felt that way. What do I know? I'm just a man with a camera. But I was pleasantly surprised and overwhelmed by how many people would comment on here or stop me in the street and say, Craig, I agree with you. You're right. And over time, I've now done over 700 videos speaking about the plight we find ourselves in. And I've noticed in that time the questions people used to ask me have changed. I used to get asked things like when, how, why is this all happening? But now I get asked a very different question on a regular basis. And that question is, Craig, what are we going to do about it? And that question plagued my mind for a long time because I always thought I didn't know politics. That's something for other people, not people like me and you. That's for different people, that's for special people. But having now met a number of politicians, I'm sorry to say that I'm not impressed by many of them. And when I look at the job they've done running our country for so long, I'm even less impressed. So I'm not impressed by them at all. And that's why a number of months ago I decided to run for office. That's why I announced my intentions to stand for election for Holyrood Parliament in 2026. Because I truly believe that while I might not know everything, I'm not ashamed to say, and while I'm just a man that was born in Linwood, grew up in Bridgewere and spent most of his adult life in Glasgow, I'm not ashamed to say that either. I like to think I do have something to offer the people of Scotland. I like to think I could bring a sense of integrity, a sense of honesty and standards to the role as an elected member of the Scottish Parliament. Since announcing my candidacy for election, I've been humbled by the amount of support I've received. Truly grateful for every single person, every single word, every single one who has wished me well, offered me support, or even said I have their vote. That means so much to me, and I seriously thank each and every one of them for doing so. But that question is still rattled around the back of my head, and I keep thinking about it over and over again, and what are we going to do about it? I've had people come to me for the last few months now saying, Craig, I want to do what you're doing. I want to stand alongside you. I want to get elected into Holyrood too, and I want us to work together. So many people have said this to me from all walks of life, and I've been even approached by political parties to work with them, and some of them asked me to stand for them. And I've always been sceptical though about groups. I've worked in many groups in many different capacities in the past, and I'm fully aware that sometimes if you want to get something done, you actually have to work with people. But political parties are a totally different entity. But I do on occasion get asked, who are you joining? And some of those parties asked me to join them, and I'm not going to lie, some stood no chance whatsoever of me joining them. Their politics are simply not mine. I'm fiercely patriotic and I'm absolutely a unionist. And I believe in common sense, down to earth, family, community values. And I understand in a party you might not get everything you want, but for me, it was more about principles, morals and standards. And so realistically, there were only ever a few parties that I could possibly join, and to be honest with you, Reform UK were one I had considered. And since then, I've spoke to people within the party at length. In fact, I actually thought there was a real possibility that I would join them. But unfortunately, looking into them, researching them and speaking with them, I actually was left bitterly disappointed to find that they didn't stand for the things I did. When the leader said he didn't support protests, that's a fundamental right as a UK citizen. That left me disappointed. When he told his members falsely that they had made their party democratic and to trust them with power, I was very disappointed. When he said he no longer supported deportations of illegal immigrants to this country, I was disappointed. But the biggest disappointment for me was within a supposedly unionist party have allowed nationalists within their ranks. And they still allow them within their ranks. In fact, our second in command in Scotland, our actual deputy chairman of the Scotland branch himself, is an avid nationalist. And I'm not saying you don't have the right to be a nationalist in Scotland, quite the opposite. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But what I'm saying is, there's already parties for nationalists in Scotland. You wouldn't find me joining the SNP nor Alba, because I don't believe in what they do. So why would a proudly unionist party allow this? And he wasn't alone. I found a number of their candidates at the Westminster election who still believed in breaking up the United Kingdom. And that to me showed a complete disregard for their members, their voters, and their own standards. But most important to me, complete disregard for the Scottish Unionists. Recently, I was approached by another party, a party called the Social Democratic Party, SDP. That's a party I can remember from my youth back in the 80s, when they had Westminster MPs, etc. But they've made a bit of a comeback lately. And so I thought I'd hear them out. And you know what? I was genuinely surprised by what they said to me. I actually met their leader, William Clouston. We talked for a long time about the state of the country, and I was pleased to hear that they have a constitution called the New Declaration, which makes it very clear they're 100% a unionist party. They are also democratic. They trust their members and the people to do the right thing in shaping their vision. And their motto is family, community, nation. And the whole way through their constitution, you can see these principles at their core. And while I was talking to William, that question, what are we going to do about it, kept rattling inside my head. And you know what? I thought, this man knows what to do about it. So we spoke about how immigration is now completely out of control. We spoke about how our children are being taught woke nonsense and it infects everything in our society. We spoke about how these same children are growing up to feel that they have no future or part to play in this country. And how about we need to get them into apprenticeships to build the United Kingdom of tomorrow. We spoke about how young adults need to be helped so they can build families for the future. We spoke about how our veterans are left behind in our society and how we can prioritise them better. But you know what we also spoke about? We spoke about how we used to build things, how we used to make things, how we used to create things, and just how much of that we've actually lost. And we actually spoke about other things, and he asked me, what would I do? Given a chance, how would I want to see things change? And now that we've spoken a number of times, and very recently spoke again, but this time I was asked if I would like to lead the SDP's branch in Scotland. And I made a decision, and this decision wasn't taken lightly. I'm well aware of what this means, but the question was never what am I going to do about it? It was what are we going to do about it? And if you're wanting to change this country, my country, your country, our country, for the better, then I need people to support me in that mission. If I'm going to show people that ordinary, everyday, down-to-earth, common sense, good people can get elected into Holyrood, then I'm going to need others to show the public too. I'm hopefully going to create a political home for unionists, for veterans, for communities, for parents, for families, for young and old. Then I'm going to need others to help me to do that. I've got plans for this party and this movement all across Scotland. I want to give people in Scotland who don't have a voice, who feel unrepresented, who are politically homeless. I want to give those people a home, a true home that represents them, and is willing to listen to them. I want to show this country that we can do so much better than we're doing right now. And to do that, I need you. So if you see what I see, that is a country that is not what it used to be. And if you think, I think, that we can do so much better than this, and if you feel how I feel, and that you're fed up and sick of the lies, the corruption, the division, then join me. Join me, please. The link is in the description below. Join the SDP. And if you want to just be a member, that's great. It'll only cost you £2 a month. And I'll thank you for your support. I'll keep you updated. And you'll know how things are going as we set out in our campaign for 2026. But that's our campaign together. So if you want to get involved, you want to contribute in other ways, if you'd like to help our campaign, if you'd like to be an organiser, a branch manager, or even run for office, then join us and let's talk. Because this cannot go on any longer. Things need to change, and that question needs to be answered. What are we going to do about it? Well, this is what we're going to do about it. So join me, and together we'll change this country for the better.
Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.